What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about SoFi. Things are looking pretty good. I want to go over some of the current data points and go over everything else that you need to know for today. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. So we are about to head into Power Hour. Currently, it is up 1.7 or 97%. 35.6 million shares are being traded. 58 is the average. So a little bit low for volume. These are some of the transactions that have occurred on the secondary market above $100,000. So you can kind of note that big money isn't necessarily getting in today for the long position. A lot of the volume today is derived from algorithmic trading. So that's something I have been saying time and time again, just the market does want to go higher. So AI is kind of just piggybacking off of their kind of tune, if that makes sense. Fear and greed index is currently at 78. So once again, you are seeing the market just wanting to naturally go up as a result of that. Market did open though fairly positive, so most likely this nice bump up right here was as a result of market makers covering for those options. And funny enough though, SoFi did easily and without almost any hesitation get above this pivot point. I did say in my video yesterday, some points to really watch for is this. So a pivot point of $8.28. Right now, at the time of doing this video, it's kind of flirting with it. So we'll just have to wait and see if it's able to close above it or below it. During Power Hour, so in the next hour, I do anticipate a hell of a lot of volatility, last minute concerns in regards to CPI. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow. Like I've indicated, that is going to either make or break the broader market. So once again, we'll just have to sit tight and wait for that. SoFi, there's been no news, no SEC filings. So again, it's just been piggybacking off of the broader market, the technicals, and many other things. No new analyst ratings. So today is one of those days that you just sit back, enjoy, watch the stock do what it does, and again, just keep mental note of 828. But I think generally speaking, CPI should be rather good and keep it above this pivot point. So potentially the next step might be $9.28, and then depending on the FOMO that does kind of start in the broader market, once again, it could get to around the 989. But that's just all short-term stuff. I do feel that based on the Elliott wave technicals, that's pointing to around 1050 is a little bit more realistic in the mid-term, if that kind of makes sense. Looking at options though, $6.76 million in calls being purchased versus 1.95 million in puts. 50% of all the options being done today are optimistic and bullish. Of the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be above roughly about $9. So matching with a lot of those key points, the pivot points on the technicals. And of the puts that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be sub 750. Kind of extreme. Clearly that is being derived from maybe some negative CPI. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I know overall, every time I do ask this, you get one or two individuals saying that they do want SoFi to go down, and that's just so they can accumulate more shares at cheaper prices. Kind of makes sense, but keep in mind when it comes to SoFi, it's a fine-tooth comb, or I don't think that's the right phrase, but you guys get what I'm saying, because the technicals, once the technicals break, then the downtrend will solidify, and this is where you actually will legitimately see like low sevens or potentially even sixes once again. So you want to watch the technicals to hold, very much so. So let me know your thoughts on that. Interestingly enough though, shorts are returning roughly about 500,000 shares. 16.54% of the free float is being shorted. I did do a pre-market video and I talked extensively all about shorts and why it's now at 16.54% and blah blah blah. Oddly enough, stupid thing, I did forget to make it public. So I didn't even post it. So that's kind of going to go to a waste. But regardless, NASDAQ did submit the new numbers. So that's where it showed 150 million shares are being shorted. But technically, this is where Ortex does take that information, adjust it up to today's date. And this is how you do have 16.54% of the free float being shorted. So once again, shorts have been doubling down over the last little bit. Cost to borrow average is 1.1%. So hopefully if CPI is good, and similarly with retail sales on Thursday, if both data points are good, then you are going to see most likely a FOMO that we haven't seen in a very long time. So shorts might be just anticipating that, and this is why you are seeing them return about 500,000 shares so far today. So again, hopefully bigger and better things are down the pipeline for SoFi. I just wanted to hop on, do a quick video for you, go over some of the data points, technicals, and everything else that you need to know. One thing I just wanted to quickly bring up was Seeking Alpha Picks. And so for those of you that maybe struggle with building a portfolio or whatever else, they do have a very good, well-performing portfolio where they are very transparent. They go over when they pick it, the price, and everything. So for instance, the last pick that they did do was on February the 1st, Twillo, tickers TWLO. And so far since they did create this, I believe it was at the tail end of 2022, they have gone up about 105.6% versus the S&P 32.84. So generally speaking, doing fairly well overall. So I highly suggest in taking a look at this, link in the description below or the comments, because it does go over everything, and plus it talks on when they close it, analysis on why they are picking a certain stock and everything else. So let me know your thoughts, and like I said, highly suggest in taking advantage of this, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.